Hello! In this video, we are going to talk about indirect speech while we talk about space travel to the moon. As a preparation for this activity, please first match the following words with their corresponding definitions. I'm going to give you a minute, pause my video please, complete the activity, and I'll show you the answers in a moment. Alright, I hope that you did complete the activity, and here are the answers. What is to land? Land is to come to land or shore. Yes. Orbit is the curved path, usually elliptical, described by a body around another celestial body. Okay. What is step off? Is to move by lifting one foot and setting it down again in a new position. All right. Spacecraft is a vehicle designed for travel or operation in space. And what is mankind? Is, logically, the human race. All right. Thank you very much for completing that vocabulary activity. Now, please read the following text about man's landing on the moon. Let's read it together. It says, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to land on the moon. You may remember those names, or at least Armstrong's name. Apollo 11 entered into a lunar orbit on July 19, 1969. And it was not until July 20th, that will be the next day, that we heard the now famous Armstrong's words, "The Eagle has landed." Armstrong stepped off the spacecraft and declared, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. On July 22nd, Apollo 11 began its return trip home. All right, you may remember some events that happened around that time, or especially what happened when man landed on the moon. All right, let's make sure that you understood what we read by answering these simple questions. First, how long was the Apollo 11 mission? How long? If they landed on the moon, if they entered the orbit of the moon on July 19th and they returned on July 22nd, that would be around 3 days. Okay. What do you think is the eagle? Or what do you think the eagle is? The eagle, because he says the eagle has landed. So, what is that? That's the name of the spacecraft that they were using. Yes? All right. With that story or with that text, we are going to look at one topic that is very, very important in English, and it's called indirect speech. Indirect speech refers to that way of speaking when we are reporting what somebody said, and now we are repeating what they said, but in an indirect way. So sometimes people call this also reported speech. Why? Because we are reporting on what somebody already said. So if Neil Armstrong said the eagle has landed, how can we report that he said that? We could say something like this. Neil Armstrong said that the eagle had landed. Why do we say had landed if he said the eagle has landed? Why? Because we're talking about something that was said in the past. So we're not going to repeat exactly the same words that he used, but we are going to add an extra past description to the action that we were describing. So if he said has landed, we need to add an extra past emphasis there. So to tell you structurally in English, if somebody's speaking in the present perfect, as in this case, has landed, we need to transform it to the past perfect, right? What happened in this example? For example, if we are reporting that Mary said, I need your help. All right, I need your help. That is in the present tense. So when we report on that, we need to add some past emphasis and extra past emphasis there. So we are going to transform the present simple to the past. For example, we could say, Mary said that she needed my help. Why am I not saying needed your help? Because we're reporting about something that she said to me. So we need to logically transform whatever she said into a more natural way of saying that, but involving me or the person that was addressed that to. In that case, we would say, Mary said that she needed my help. All right? So we need to apply some logic there because it needs to make sense. The good thing is that in any language that we report something, this will always occur. We transform a present tense into a past tense, and we refer to the people that were involved in the action in a logical manner. If we had to report this, John said, we ate the rest of the cake last night. We ate. So if we're talking about something that happened in the past, and in the original sentence we use ate, which is past simple, we need to transform that in this way. John said that they had eaten the rest of the cake last night. So if we say ate, past simple, we transform that to past perfect. All right? Good. Now, if we had something like this, Peter said, let me show you this telescope. I want to focus on vocabulary here. Peter said, let me show you this telescope. We could say, Peter asked me, because he was talking to me when he said, let me show you this telescope. Peter asked me to let him show me that telescope. All right. He said, let me show you this telescope. He asked me to let him show me that telescope. We transform this with that. Why? Because now I am talking about an object that is not close to me. At the moment, he was telling me, show you this telescope. It was probably close to us. But now I am referring to some action that occurred in the past. There is some distance there. So we need to change this to that because it is not close to me anymore. All right? So those are the transformations that we need to apply when we are reporting something that happened in the past. But it is easier to understand it if we put that into practice. So I'm going to ask you to complete one activity, and then we are going to go over the answers together so that you can make sure that you understand this. All right? So let's read this. Use any of the following verbs to report the statements below. So here you have some verbs, and you can use them to refer to what they said, reported, affirmed, announced, declared, replied, etc. All right? And here are the statements. So please take a look at them, pause my video, complete the activity, try to complete the activity, and I'll show you in a moment the answers that could go there. All right? Pause my video, complete the activity, please. Excellent. Thank you very much for completing the activity. So let's look at the answers that we could have for this activity. Remember, we are reporting on something that people said. We could say, Neil Armstrong declared, we could say any other thing, but declare could be there. So remember, any of those verbs could go there. Said, affirmed, announced. All right. Neil Armstrong declared that the eagle was doing great and that everything was fine. All right. Why? Because the original was the eagle is doing great. So we transform that into the past tense. For the next one, which is that John F. Kennedy said, we chose to go to the moon, we're going to say something like this. John F. Kennedy stated, we could say any other thing, but the student chose to use stated that they, not chose, that they had chosen to go to the moon. If somebody says that they chose to go to the moon, it would still make sense because we're talking about the past tense, but it is more standard, let's say, to use had chosen because we're transforming the past simple into the past perfect. had chosen to go to the moon not because it was easy, but because it was hard. All right? Now, this statement by Charles Conrad, the third man to set foot on the moon, that may have been a small step. So how do we transform that? Charles Conrad admitted, for example, that might have been a small step for Neil. So we changed that may into a past form of that auxiliary so that we can refer to a past action. That might have been a small step for Neil, but it had been a big one for him. That's nice. Now, to report about what President Kennedy said, I believe that this nation, so we are going to transform that. President Kennedy announced that he believed that nation, not this nation, because we're talking about something in the past, so that nation had to commit itself to the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely. All right? Now, the last one, Edwin Buzz Aldrin said, no, we were not scared. No, we were not scared. So, to report that, we could say, Edwin Buzz Aldrin replied that they were not scared. We could say that they had not been scared, but it feels more natural to say they were not scared because actually they did not get scared eventually. So it makes more sense to say that they were not scared in general, not that they had not been scared until something happened, because nothing happened that made them really, really scared. So I hope you understand this, but you are welcome to discuss this with your classmates and with your teacher, but this could sound more natural. Edwin Buzz Aldrin replied that they were not scared during all that time until something happened. Then it was time to get scared. So another option that we could have here is that they would not be scared until something happened. Then it would be time to get scared. But I think this could be enough, especially because we are transforming the main verb here. That is, it is time to get scared. And in that way, we could just say then it was time to get scared. If you got that verb transformed into the past simple, that is enough for this activity. All right. Thank you very much for having completed the activity and especially for comparing your answers with mine. And now I am going to pause my video so that you can listen to the pronunciation of the native speaker of these sentences. And as usual, please practice with him as you hear him pronounce this. All right? So I'm pausing my video. Listen and practice your pronunciation, please.
Neil Armstrong declared that the Eagle was doing great and that everything was fine. John F. Kennedy stated that they had chosen to go to the moon not because it was easy, but because it was hard. Charles Conrad admitted that might have been a small step for Neil, but it had been a big one for him. President Kennedy announced that he believed that nation had to commit itself to the goal of the landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth. Edwin Buzz Aldrin replied that they were not scared until something happened. Then it was time to get scared.
All right. Thank you very much for having done that. Thank you for practicing your pronunciation. And remember that we have been practicing the indirect speech or reported speech, in which we transform something that somebody said because we are reporting about that action or that statement that was said in the past. And for that, we need to transform the verb, the present simple to past simple, present perfect to past perfect, and sometimes we need to change some words as well. All right? Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.